Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching to Lviv and Let Die. We're here at the beginning of a new season. Because we won all the cups and everything last year, we have to play Karpaty, who finished second in the league. I'm just firing up my Excel spreadsheet so that I can live update the Supercup winner. So welcome back, guys. There's not been very much going on in terms of fixtures. Obviously, we played three fairly routine games, and then we drew 1-1 with Bayern in a game that was shown on TV. And in the second half, we played a very, very weak sort of second string of players, and we ended up with a 1-1 draw, which is not that bad, in my opinion. The big thing that's come out of this summer is transfers. Rosic is still here, so don't worry about that. Where are we going? Over here. Right. So, we'll see a few you'll see a few things that you'll think, why? Including one which doesn't seem to have gone through. Huh. Right, well, what? Hang on a second. Okay. Right, anyway, so we sent some players out on loan. We also did the same thing with Lechia. We sent, seems like we only sent one player over to Lechia this year. I'll send another one because I thought I had done. We then sold Blas Gonzalez, the centre-back, who is fine, but maybe not good enough. We made a big profit on him, sold him to Vélez, back to Argentina, where he goes to have fun with his friends, I'm sure. We sold Adlan Cherfa to Evian for £65,000. We signed him on a free, whatever. Andriy Borovkov joined Dynamo Kiev, probably more his level at this point. Fnar. He won a lot of cups with us, loads of cups, and he even got a Premier League winners medal 1 year, so he should not be too disappointed with his career. We sold Vitaly Voskobojnik, one of our homegrown lads, well, sort of homegrown, we signed him off Metallurg, for £1.1 million because Academica are clearly insane. He's not worth that much money, but we got a decent bit of money for him, so yeah, complaints, I have none. Then a couple more players out on freeze, Chumachenko, Bekir Kaba, and Bogdan Popadinets, all off. Then we sold Luciano Bostal to Lazio for £6.75 million, 2 years on, not a bad return. He also made his first cap for Argentina at the age of 29, which is pretty cool. Lucky boy. And Gustavo Gomez has gone to Lechia, as I mentioned. He's a young striker who hopefully will benefit from playing some first-team football. We're also in the process of selling Kofi Donkor, which is what I was looking for before. He complained about his wage. I said, fine, I'm more than happy to give you money. I'll give you a new contract. So I went in with it, and he was insisting on, I can't remember exactly what clause it was, but we kept battering away, and then I sort of caved a little bit to his demands, but clearly not enough, because then him and his agent just immediately backed off, and then wouldn't let me offer him a new contract for the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks. So I thought, well, he's only got 1 year left on his contract. We're going to get rid of him for money because he's 26 and stuff. So I think he's got a few bids accepted for him. In fact, we can see what he's got. Transfer centre. Kofi Donkor, so it looks like he's going to Juventus. Oh, in fact, they're just waiting to confirm it. Okay, so he's going to Juventus for £10 million. Not bad. Not as much as you probably would expect for a player of his quality, but remember, we're still in a rubbish league. They don't like to buy from us properly. Now then, there's players in. Craig Sibanda, a Ross County legend, I imagine. He's come in for £850,000. The intention being to maybe send him on loan to Lechia. There you go. Enjoy. But he should be quite good, I'm hoping. We also then signed Jose Frier, who's another decent looking player who seems to be on his way to Lechia. He's a left back who I think can develop into something good, so let's see. And then there was the player that you saw me sign last episode, Dejan Topalovic. He's come in, and that's why I sold Blas Gonzalez. I thought, well, he'll be good enough to be our sort of third. He's on a rotation contract, so he'll be good enough to be our third centre-back. I also tied down a few of our other players to contracts, so Big George and Mick has extended his. And also, he wanted no money. It's ridiculous. He wanted his wage increase was about I don't know, it went from something like 6,000 to 9,000, whereas everyone else is going from, I don't know, 900 to 13,000 or whatever. So he's a very chill guy. I like it. Next player they brought in was Benny Nachteiler on a free. He is the replacement for Bostal. I think that's a pretty good deal considering he was free, and we got 6.75 million and made a profit on his own transfer fee, so that's good. We then signed Vit Mazek, who's a decent he's a 16-year-old Czech. He looks like he's going to be real good. So the hope is just that he can spend a year in our development squad, and then I don't know, Lechia maybe. It seems like a place that people go. And then we signed Ramon. Ramon here is going to be trained as a right midfielder, or in fact he's currently training as a right midfielder and working on his crossing a little bit, with the intention of replacing Kofi Donkor once Kofi Donkor does get his move and actually gets on with it. Why is that showing that we've got something going on? Okay, and we're actually trying to sign another guy. This guy, Junior. He's similarly a pretty good attacking sort of midfield option who will hopefully replace Salvador when we get round to that. Because Salvador's obviously quite old. He also made his Spain debut, weirdly. I don't really understand. Fun fact, Zirka have joined us. Zirka Kirovgrad have joined us in the Premier League this year. They, for the first time ever, I think, are playing in the top division, so I expect them to get circa 1 win this season. That's cool. New team in the league. In the division below, anything particularly interesting? Anyone there that's new? Not really. I think no. There's nobody particularly interesting coming up and down at the moment. So there you go. That's just sort of the way it is. Now we're going to play Karpaty. If we look at the season last season, they came second. A full 26 points behind us. We had. Yeah, about 26 points behind us. So, yeah, there we go. Last season, obviously, we were unbeaten. We were the invincible side. There's very little else for us to achieve in Ukrainian football. The question is how long I can feel like I can keep going with Lviv. It does feel a little early to jump ship, considering that I think we've only won. Let's just look. So, okay, we've won quite a lot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And been in the other final and now the 8th final. But I think that we could probably do 3 or 4 more years, try and have another run at the Champions League, and then jump ship to a new division and a new challenge. I'm looking at Italy or France as our next stop on the tour. So here we go. Lviv and Karpaty, we've got a much better record against them, although they do seem to have a bit of a knack of ruining things. This game is being played in the Lviv arena, which is an interesting. Should we leave Kofi Donkor in there just to just to sort of really be like, well, fuck you? Right. Hang on a sec. Amsalem is on international duty because the European Championship is still ongoing, which has messed up a little bit our pre-season. And I think Israel are in the final. Let me just double check on that. No. Fixtures. Yes, so they are in the final. It will be against either Italy or Germany. So cool, well done Israel. So I think half of our bloody squad is Israeli at the moment, so that's where most of them are, if you see some weird players out. Right, let's sort out our squad then, shall we? Yes, we shall. Good idea. Cool, thanks. Want to carry on talking to yourself? Yes. We'll put Rosic there. We're also so Rogulic is doing well, but has just had a little injury, so he's out for a little bit. And Yuri Konsadalov is our player who was on loan last year to. In fact, he's not going to be on the bench. He's got such low fitness, but he was on loan at. There you go, 19 years of age. He played at Lechia last year and did very well. 21 goals, 5 assists in his 30 games, or near enough 30 games. He's a good player, and we will be putting him into the first team this year a lot, as much as possible anyway, and that probably means not very much, because we all know what I'm like. Right, so Ramon. I really want Kofi Donkor to do well, so I'm going to bring Ramon on. He's our new right midfielder, remember? And he'll replace Kofi Donkor. Pandagotu can take a break for this one. We'll have Salvador and Raymond Cullen on the bench, and then at the back we will. Let's. Should we? Is this a good idea to give Topalovic a debut in this game? I'm not sure. Let's give Musa Kurt his game. And okay, so the other player who was on loan with Lechia last year was Roberto Gonzalez, and he played very well also. He's in fact had 2 very good loans recently. So I'm thinking that he's going to be good enough to be in our team. So we're just going to do this, and you know what? We don't need him. Get out. And we'll bring on. So what we've got: Gonzalez, Topalovic. Let's have Alexeyev there as well. Okay, let's try and beat these boys. I'm looking forward to it. Ramon can have number 8 shirt. Topalovic. Well, there we go. That's just the way it's going to have to be. Let's go. We're playing Lviv, Karpaty Lviv, the second best team in Lviv, but very much not the first best team in Lviv, because that's us, FC Lviv. That said, we obviously don't actually play in Lviv. Now, yeah, why not? Come on, guys. Ooh, a bit of expectation for once. We are now. Oh, so we've now become. We're the second biggest team in Ukraine based on reputation. I'm not sure. Oh, hi, Laurie. What are you doing here? It's Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Yeah, we don't. What was this? Stupid. It always just distracts me. Yeah, we're the second best team in terms of reputation in Ukraine, which surprises me because the first best team is still Shakhtar. I mean, I guess it's because they've just won so many league titles over the years. Oh, Merino. Oh, Borisiewicz manages a good save. Yeah, they've won so many league titles over the years that it would be impossible to take over their reputation just by winning 4 or 5 league titles in a row, even though we did win the Champions League and they've never done that. But we are now comfortably second, even ahead of Dynamo Kiev, which I guess is also a little bit surprising. Oh, Shahata's shot. Nicely saved. Eze up front. Musa Kurt just clears it easily. So that has meant that for the first time, despite having won 6 league titles, we are finally expected by the board to win the league rather than challenge, or even for I think 3 or 4 years all we were expected to do was challenge for European qualification. So you know, we're starting to expand the horizons of the club. That said, the board the board are being particularly obstinate at the moment. I cannot get any thing past them. They won't give me a new feeder club. They have chosen to expand the training facilities, so I'm expecting that to be done in the next couple of weeks. But they won't even consider discussing the stadium. They won't give me new scouts or new physios or new coaches. I expect they'd probably give me a new contract if I asked for it, but I don't really need one. And it's just a sort of weird situation. They won't do anything. It's kind of annoying. I want them to build the new stadium, really. I think we could do with winning a few more, maybe a couple more league titles and maybe something in Europe. Oh, Borisiewicz taps it onto the post. Determined Henry with the ball now, gives it to Badani, and now they play it around at the back. Henry to Shahata. Shahata's shot blocked. Big Mick. I mean, we're so comfortable. It's ridiculous. Marino runs in. Oh, Borisiewicz manages to get hold of it just ahead of Marino. But now Marino is breaking through. Marino's shot. Borisiewicz again. Good save. Kretov clears, and we leave it out for a throw. Yeah, so it's not exactly all go or all change or anything really here at Lviv. We're just continuing on. It seems like our domination is likely to continue for many years. Even if we hadn't sold or bought any players this summer, I think we probably would have easily won the league. Not that we, you never know, I suppose. But Marino goes past his man. Oh, what a finish that is! What an absolute goal that was. He jinks past one, gets into the box, and then his shot up under the bar. Oh, Look at him go. Ooh, past him there. That was delightful. And then what a finish that is. Oh, tasty, tasty. Yeah, see, so that's the other thing. Like, if I was to leave in the next 2 years, players like Marino, Shahata, lovely stuff. Well, it is Shahata to a degree, I suppose. Oh, Marino's got 2. It's a beautiful bit of football. And Lviv have won the Supercup again. I'm not going to put the name into the chart just yet, but I'm very close to doing that. Marino, goes around Batista like he's not there. So I really want to see Marino's career develop at Lviv. If I leave, he'll immediately be sold for like £5 million, and that's not what I am into. I also would like, for example, Big Mick never to leave the club. That doesn't seem like it would be a thing that would happen if I left. Perennial's another player I'd like to see develop. There's a lot of things here that I don't really want to just leave early on. That wasn't quite the case with Shlonsk. We didn't have such a youngish team there. I think the team that we had at Shlonsk was much more sort of cobbled together and mostly held together by motivational speeches, whereas I feel like Lviv actually has some skill to it. Shlonsk reminded me a little bit of that was silly. I was going to say they reminded me. Donkor, get a goal in your last game for us now. I was going to say it reminded us of Clough's Forest, but actually that makes no sense because Clough's Forest were the same team that won the second division, and we were a very different team to the one that I took over. So it's not an accurate comparison. I'm talking too much. I need to just have a glass of water. Whilst playing insect with the ball there, gives it back out to Kamara. Merino to plan insect. Lovely stuff. Yeah, so the Schlams team were, I guess, more at the end of a cycle, whereas this one definitely feels like it's at the beginning of potentially being some kind of force. I mean, we certainly are competitive in Europe. What the hell is that keeper doing now? I mean, our absolute epic with Barcelona last year proves that. So we certainly have the potential to continue on, and what I'd quite like, weirdly, is to win the Europa League because it's like my favourite competition in this game. We seem to you could see it come in. He was finding the space. He turns and curls an absolute belter into the top corner, and Lviv are 3-0 up. We're embarrassing them, I think, even at their own stadium. So just the Lviv arena. Determined Henry wallops that into the top corner, and yes, please, I'll take one more. And so what this does mean is we can bring on a bunch of our debutants for the second half, which is good. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Don't need to say any more. For goodness sake, what was I saying? Yeah. But, so we're at the beginning of the cycle. We'll do well. I would like to win. There we go. See, I just ran through the whole conversation in my head, and then it comes back. Conversation, I mean, dialogue. Dialogue. Oh. Plan insect. And I've now forgotten it again. Oh man, come on. Yeah, and dialogue. Determined Henry. It's gone off Marino. At the beginning of a cycle, and we're at the beginning of it, and Marino's now running on. That's lovely stuff. Come on, just finish that off. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, the Europa League, right. Christ. Okay, we got there. Third time lucky. I just like that competition. We won it with Shlonsk. That felt like a massive achievement at the time. We've obviously won the Champions League now with Lviv. But it would be nice to have Lviv's name on both European trophies, and I want a shot at that bloody... Weirdly, it's strange that it's sort of caught in my interest so much, but as manager of Lviv, the one thing that has really upset me was not winning the Supercup last year, because we should not have lost to FC Copenhagen, and it's a bit of a bloody travesty that we did. So I feel like another run at that would make me feel happy and sort of all warm inside. And so if we can try and win that, I don't care which way we go around it. If we win the Champions League again, that's no problem to me, of course. But I just think it would be nice, for a completionist point of view, to win the Europa League as well. So we just say we've won everything with Lviv. But let's see. We'll see how long I can stomach just winning the same league over and over again, because it does get a bit tiresome after a while. That said, what I want is to make the team able to do what Śląsk has done in Poland, is to have them be utterly dominant even once I leave. Because in England, obviously, even though I set particularly Western up to be a force for good, with an excellent stadium and just like, the best team, they'd won something like 2 or 3 league titles in a row, and then they went on to win 3 or 4 more. Marino, lovely play from the lad. Let's bring on Daniel Rosic now as well. because Mourinho's taken a knock. I'd like to set Lviv up for that. At the moment, I'm not 100% sure that would happen with not me in charge. Oh, Goggle, what are you doing, bro? Taking out, that's all right. So that's the sort of, they're the thoughts. If you sort of condense the maybe 3 minutes of sensible chat I did in the last, 15 minutes of rambling, then you'll be able to understand what the plan is for the season and the series. For me, win the Supercup, and then we can discuss. That's how it basically wins out. Go on, Rosic, get yourself a goal, son. Are you kidding me? How are you worth £20 million? Drinking more water. Lemishko to Totovitsky. I know they've played some youngsters, so because I think it mentioned before the game that one of their players is making his debut and he will be the youngest player ever. Just ever, or possibly also just ever for Karpaty. But regardless, we needed to win, and we did. There we go. Good win, boys. Well done. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. And now I can just go over to my other laptop. Control C, Control V. Save. Ukraine stats. Let's just refresh. There we go. Does that mean it is? Have we only won the 7? 7. That's our 7th Supercup, statistically speaking, and in therefore correctly speaking. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's just making sure. Yep. So there we go. Ukraine are the first company nearly said, to finish off their season's trophies. There we go. 2072, winner of the league, Lviv. Winner of the cup, Lviv. Winner of the Super Cup, Lviv. And that means that we are now the... let's have a look. So we are the third most successful club in terms of league titles in Ukraine. One ahead of Metalist Kharkiv and 17 behind Dynamo Kiev. And then another, Donetsk have 43, so we have a long way to go. We've got 6. And then, so the FA Cup, we are still we're only the 4th most successful side, although we're joint with Kharkiv again on 6, and we have 7 Super Cups, which is 1 behind Kharkiv. So we're basically largely the 3rd or 4th best team historically in Ukraine, but that's good. That's fine by me. That's pretty much where we left Shlonsk, and they are now the most successful team ever. Wheatland continues Lviv tradition. We have a proud tradition of winning this cup, and that's good for me. We win it. Good. Karpaty were defeated. It was in their stadium, I believe. Let's just quickly look at their information. Facilities. Oh no, they play in that Ukraine stadium that we used to play in as well. Okay, so we won at this Lviv arena. Why don't we play in the fucking Lviv arena then? Why do we have this stupid Lviv stadium out in Borovinia or whatever it is? Anyway, sorry, it just really annoys me. Classy Marino on form, good lad. Topolovic came in, did well. Actually, didn't really do well. Slightly above average. No, 6.9 is the average rating. All right, whatever. Juventus, there we go. Kofi Donkor has signed for Juventus. The age of 25, £10.5 million, I think, is a bit of a steal for them, to be perfectly honest. I was actually looking for 20 million. That's what I offered him out for, but that was the biggest offer that I got. So it is the way it is. With 1 year left on his contract, you sometimes have to sort of allow these sort of things. I guess that's maybe why they bid so low. But yeah, off he goes to Juventus with all our best wishes behind him. He likes me, despite not wanting to re-sign. Let's just see. So he's won a whole bunch of stuff. Ukrainian Cup winner. He's won the Super Cup so much. He won the Champions League and the Club World Championship with us. He's a goddamn hero. Let's just look at his biography. He's a well-known football fan, well-known 2 football fans. Joined Lviv. Well, he only made 70 appearances, but he's got 22 goals. During his time with the Lviv, good nickname, Donkor's team lifted the Ukrainian Cup, Supercup 3 times, Ukrainian Premier League 3 times, and the Ukrainian... Why is the Ukrainian Cup first in that list? You'd think that would be first. Euro Championship and the World Cup. Oh, fucking hell, my English. Okay, we're going to play one more game as we usually do. We're going to play Odessa. We'll see the debuts of Kontsedalov and a couple of other players. And I will continue to keep my eyes on the other trophies so that I can keep my Excel document updated. And hopefully, I've also... So I know I've mentioned it a couple of times. I don't know how much I actually went into it. But from whatever it was last time, I only had England, Poland, Ukraine, and Europe. Now I've added German statistics in there, where one FC Saarbrücken have just won the German Cup. I've also added France, because obviously if we intend to go to France or Italy or Spain, we'll have to have their leagues loaded. So they are now all loaded into the database and therefore generating some history of themselves. But nevertheless, I don't really know what nevertheless means. I have done that. And here we have... What are we saying? 2073, Milan are winning everything, although Udinese have won the league not too long ago, which is interesting. And then in Spain, the same thing. All this stuff going on, good stuff. Rayo Vallecano won the league not too long ago, which was quite a fun or an interesting change of pace, but not very many weird winners of anything yet, except for in cups again, like FC Cartagena won the Spanish Cup. A team called Navarra won the Italian Cup about 10 years ago. In France, there's nothing particularly interesting happens. The league title is shared between Lyon, Marseille, and Paris Saint-Germain, except for 2054 when Stade Brestois won it. Completely out of the blue as well. Lyon in the French league is so dominant. It's ridiculous. In Germany, actually, Bayern are not as dominant as you'd think. Dortmund have been pretty good. Bayern are okay. I mean, I think Bayern are still the most... Yeah, they have still won by far the most championships, but Schalke and Dortmund have been pretty good. And one thing I was thinking of for my next... Oh, sorry, let's just go through here a second. I don't want him just because he's at my feeder club. What was I saying? Hang on a second. Just in case we miss anything good. Is he any good? He's not good enough. Not for 5.5 million, mate. No. So I was interested, for example. Oh yes, good. Okay, so I could get Junior, and I will. Let's accept that. What that means is we can try and sell Salvador, or we can just keep... Well, how long is his contract? Fuck, it's 4 years long. Okay, let's try and get rid of him then. How much did we... 3.6. See if we can get him out. For 5. Good. So what I was thinking of is the possibility of picking up either a completely new team who've never won anything in one of these countries that we go to, or what was that good crowd expected? 4,000 people. Everyone knows. Good performance. Break went well. Working hard. Early fixtures. Determined hand is crucial. They've made us favourites for a reason. I'm happy with the squad. They're going to be right up there, but it's going to be us that wins it. And continue. So to finish off what I was saying, I was wondering whether or not it might be interesting to try and pick someone from way back in the history. So, for example, there's a team called... I'm not even sure if they're in the games. In fact, no, they probably aren't. But there's two teams from Italian history. So the 1908 Serie A winners, Pro Vercelli, I think are still in the game as a playable club. The other opportunity is taking over a club like Pordenone, where Masha, my wife, lived, which interests me. They're in the lowest playable division in the game, in Italy anyway. Or picking someone like... Who was it that was? So there's a team called Unione Venezia. So if we go to Pordenone, look at their league, and look at the insane names there. I mean, I've no connection to any of them except for Pordenone. And connection is what I'm sort of interested in. So the only other one that I can sort of see something, maybe there's more there, but I like Aquila's badge. It's a cool badge. But the other team is this one, Unione Venezia, who are playing black and orange, which is cool. And they won the Italian Cup in 1966. What? Oh, no, sorry, they didn't. They won the Italian Cup in 1941. Okay, yeah, so my document is correct. Yeah, so they won the 1941 Italian Cup, and it might be fun to try and restore them to winning ways. That sort of thing. There he goes. Off he goes, Fier to Lechia. Good luck to him. Hopefully he'll do well. Yeah, and I'm trying to get more feeder. So that's another one. I tried to get more feeder clubs, but the fucking board just said no. Or in fact, they don't even give me the option of asking for it. I can ask for a parent club, which is insane. We've won the Champions League. But whatever. Yeah, so that's sort of my thinking. So in Italy, those are the two clubs that I've got my eyes on. Although if I can find the San Marino club, if they're in the divisions, because sometimes they get relegated out of them, I potentially could take over them, because that is always something I've kind of wanted to do, is make San Marino champions of Europe and the world. But yeah, so there's that. France is something I don't really have a particular. There's not really been a club that I've found that I would like to take over yet. It might change. Actually, that's not entirely true. There is one called Red Star Paris '93, who won I think they won the inaugural French Cup in 1918 or whatever it was, way back in the 1900s. And another player's going to Lechia. Okay, enjoy, Craig. What a life you're having. Went to Japan. No players to recommend. It can't be that bad there, Jesus. All right, so there we go. So they've got now 3 players on loan from us. He's been labelled the next Charlie Adam. I didn't even notice that. We've got the next Charlie Adam, lads. And he's gone to Lechia Gdansk. God, what a life that kid is leading. Does he speak Ukrainian? No, he only speaks English. Right, well, there you go. Good luck, mate. At least if he spoke a little bit of Ukrainian, that would have helped him. But no. I mean, to be fair, he's only been here a couple of weeks. So enjoy it, Krieg. You'll have fun over there in Gdansk. Or Danzig, as we call it in Scotland. Anyway, sorry, offensive. I know that hundreds of our listeners are Scottish, and therefore we wouldn't want to offend them. Yeah, so that's my thinkings. The reason I would maybe not go for Paris, that Red Star team. Oh, okay. Their teams waste money, absolutely fucking left, right, and centre. Yeah, the reason I might not is because I think they're in quite a high division already. So I kind of like the idea of bringing someone completely out of the blue into the situation. But there we go. I don't know. We'll see. No, you fucking madman. And probably not. Shahata, I need to obviously change your transfer set. Oh, wow, yeah. There we go. Now I don't have to do anything. It will just reject them for me. Good. Let's go through all this stuff again. I'm potentially considering selling Anselm because he's really good and doesn't. I mean, the problem is he's so good. We should be able to get way more than that for him. But then Santiago Maya is better and less eccentric. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, let's see. He's still, I assume, off with his. Yes, he is. He's still off with the national team. So well done to him, I suppose. Ramon there is coming in and is going to continue to learn his trade on the right. We will play Konsadalov. Why is Planinsek unregistered? Weird. Let's give Konsadalov on the bench. Rosic can play the next in a big game. Defensively, we will not do anything. That's 2 debuts. Everything else looks okay. Good. Let's go. Planinsek. Konsadalov can have the number 32. Let's go, party girls. Anything interesting? Big Mick set to make his 150th appearance. Planinsek needs 2 more goals. See, that's why he hasn't scored for ages, because he's on a near a debut, near a landmark. Salvador is not going to be playing very much for us anymore anyway. Come on, lads. We're playing against a death, so we don't need to give you luck. It's not a case of luck, it's a case of skill. And you have loads of it, and they have none of it. Oh, it's this ridiculous stadium. It's always fun to come back and see it. Proof that they just absolutely do not learn. This can't be good for them. It's so small. I mean, that you would think they'd have to have... so what, is it small or is it big? It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell what the hell's going on. Marino went for a shot, but it was blocked. Is it massive, or is it just that... Oh, I'm playing insect. Or is it just really, really dumpy? But it feels like if it was just really short, the boxes would be further out. Musa Kurt's header goes over the bar. I think it's just incredibly wide. Is this not... We've had this discussion before, I know. But it's incredibly wide. And there's another club, I don't remember who it is, but someone else in the top division has a pitch that goes right to the edge of the screen, and it's just really long. And I'm not sure why they do it. They obviously play long ball and have pace up front. Oh, for goodness sake, guys. But here, you'd think they'd have to be like... depending on whether the pitch is actually large... They'd have to have very technical players. Ramon getting lectured 15 minutes into his debut. Not bad. His league debut, of course. He's already played in a cup final and won that, so that's great. Kamara puts the ball up towards Marino. Marino with it. Gives it to Determined Henry, who hits the post, but the ball falls to Planinsek. And he is now 1 goal closer to that 50-goal landmark, which will hopefully unblock his goal-scoring form for us. Nicely done. I mean, not exactly how I'm sure we'd have trained for that goal on the training ground, but not bad. Marino, as we remember again, his shot... Oh, what? Okay, well, we're 2-0 up. What the fuck happened there? Okay, and now Mick is off, so we'll bring on Topalovic to make his league debut. That's not great, but it's not the end of the world. So what the fuck happened there? So we scored 2. I thought I had skipped the replay, and then it came back up again, and I was confused, and then it turned out it was for another goal. So we're 2-0 up. Not a bad start to the season. Nice that Marino is at least seemingly able to continue his goal-scoring form from the last couple of years, unlike Planinsek, who was a bit of a one-hit wonder, although not anymore. That's his 50th league goal for Lviv, and he seems to be back to the player he was 2 years ago. That is good stuff. We got 2-0 up, or 3-0 up, sorry. How is Zirka doing? They're still drawing with, I think it was Krivbas, so well done. 22 minutes, not bad for them, I suppose. Shakhtar are actually winning a game. That would be nice to see them back. Well, actually it wouldn't. I'd quite like to see them relegated. It would be funny. Similarly, Dynamo Kiev. To be honest, I'd just like all of the old guard to be terrible, and it just to become like us. And great save, good header from them. Like Alexandria to become the second best team in Ukraine. That'd be quite fun. But there we go. Can't have everything we want, unless you're the manager of Lviv, in which case you can literally have everything you want on the pitch, except for BT Barcelona. Terrible play from Marchi. What are you doing, bro? Planinsek. Ramon has it, gives it to Musa Kurt. Gogua has it now. Playing it around comfortably. I mean, these are the games that we should be expecting to win regardless. That was a shot. I went backwards. My laptop has just made a da-doom noise. And Ramon was offside and headed the ball aimlessly into no one. So that was fun. It was a fun little thing that happened. Planinsek now with the ball. Ramon to go. I toyed with... So there was one player that I could have brought in who was better than Gogua and Cullen in that defensive midfield spot, but it would have been something like £15 million. And I thought, well, we don't need them. And we've only just bought Cullen in, and Gogua was still only about 27. So I don't think we need to replace in those positions Gogua with the ball, especially when they are still happy to play at Lviv. If they start to agitate and ask for moves away or do what Donkor did and let their contract run down, and then try and force a move, then they're going to go because they're not bigger than the club. But whilst they're happy and enjoying their football, I don't see what the problem is. Completely control the game and appear very comfortable. Well, that's absolutely true. Assertively say continue, and then just sort of put my feet up and smoke a cigar on the sidelines, which I imagine is legal in Ukraine in stadiums in 2073 or whatever this is. Musakert now. Bodeni to Shahata to Planinzek. Come on, Merino with the ball. Can we have a Thorth? No, we can't. 3-0. Sevastopol are winning 3-1, which is not bad for them. How is Zerka getting on? Losing 2-0. Well, Planinzek trying to go for the hat-trick, but unfortunately his shot goes wide. Thought he would be back on form by this point, but no. Someone looks like they need physio. That's determined Henry. That's not good. Planinzek wins the ball, gives it to Petkov. Chitanava. Okay, Topalovic gives it to Planinzek again. Puts in Merino. Merino scores. It's too easy. Too easy. Now, we're going to leave Planinzek on because he needs the benefit of some positive sort of motivation, and we're going to bring on Konsadalov for his debut, and we're going to take off Henry because he's been injured. So that's the way those substitutions work in my head. Hopefully we can get Konsadalov a goal on his debut. That'd be nice. We essentially put most of the goals on a platter anyway. Although not so much in this game. There's been a few individual nice ones. But yeah, it does happen. Planinzek, go on, Shahata put that ball in there for him. And see, that was what he was trying to do, and I like it. Salvador with the ball. Salvador goes for a shot himself, but hammers the ball well wide. In probably his last appearance for the club as well, I guess, if that move to whichever club it was that we accepted the bid from goes through. Topalovic looking comfortable. Bodeni does actually manage to cross it, and it caused some troubles for them, but in the end, Planinzek, come on. Yeah, in the end they managed to clear things up pretty comfortably. Sevastopol are winning 5-2, not bad. Planinzek, keep going. Planinzek. They're beating Gavela 5-2. That's not a good result for Gavela. Shakhtar smashing Mesalis. Dnipro losing. Arsenal Kiev beating Alexandria. Fairly middle of the road stuff. Planinzek. Ramon gives it to Planinzek again. Go on, slip through Konsadalov. There he is. Konsadalov with his first shot for the club. Straight at the goalkeeper. That's a shame. The ball comes in the middle. Planinzek. I'm not sure quite what happened there. The goalkeeper picks up the loose ball. Bodeni to Planinzek. Bodeni, he must still be working on his crossing. I hope he is anyway. Whoa, Salvador. Like, good clearance. Odessa fans cheering his name. Bodeni now to Shahata. Shahata, though, can put the ball in pretty comfortably. Finds Planinzek. His shot is deflected behind. We have had so many chances. Have they had any? They've had one. We've only had 6 on target, which is quite impressive. Gogwa's ball comes in. Topalovic, I'm not sure what he was doing there. Wasn't expecting it, maybe. Bodeni, great ball to Gogwa. Whoa, wow. Jesus Christ. What a shot. Gogwa puts the ball in. It's cleared, but Kamara has it. Musakert. Kamara, what on earth are we doing? What is happening here? Just slamming in shots from 40 yards. And some of them are going out for throw-ins. It's madness. That's the sign of an arrogant team. Huge ball. Konsadalov now runs onto it. He could get himself an assist, maybe. Cheek of the boy. Chitanava manages to save. Sevastopol are 6-2 up. The ball's gone in, but it was disallowed. Okay, so I'm not sure. An interesting bit of play as well. Ball went into Topalovic. It then sort of sped up on its way into goal. I think he forced Djordjevic into scoring an own goal there, which is maybe what that was for. Well, anyway, Ramon is getting booked on his debut. Nice to see. Nice. Lviv get the 3 points. We'll take it. It doesn't matter that we came second. that we are second in the league after one game. That's no problem for me at all. Sevastopol beating Govela. Weirdly... Oh, right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fine. Well, not a bad game. We had far too few shots on target, but otherwise it was pretty good. And we're already well on our way. Leave him to the physio for 2 weeks. That's fine. Planinsek did well, got his 50th goal for the club. That's what I like to see. You want an improved deal for him? Maybe it'll help me get more money for you. See, that's one of the things that people seem to want a lot of, is if I do... Alright, if I do that... Alright, well, fuck you. You're not having it. I'll sell you, I don't care. Okay, you do. Alright, fair enough. Fine, okay. That particular result was... What are you talking about? Where do you work for? The Lviv Football Informer? We're friendly and good humour. So is this a joke? Is that what this is supposed to be? Fucking hell. I wouldn't want him to be. Big Mick. Yeah. Harris was excellent. Never stop looking for ways to improve the team. Good. Okay, so that's that then. All easily done. The next game that we record will probably be after Christmas, to be honest with you, because we have nothing interesting going on until then. It'll just be group stages of the Champions League, if I assume we're getting there automatically. And then it'll be the knockout stages again, and it'll be the interesting bit. So, or possibly the Europa League, depending on what happens, or possibly nothing if things go really bad. Yeah. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye, 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 bye.